Hi everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be hitting upon 3 points, and you're going to want to stick around because the third point is a secret as to the one thing you are definitely going to want to do if you are writing a book yourself. So let's get into it. Today's topic is 3 best pieces of writing advice. Now, as an author or somebody who's aspiring to be an author, there are a number of phases in the whole process when we're getting going on the self-publishing route. And of course, the very first part you might imagine is writing the book itself. But you would be mistaken because there are some things that need to even be done before the writing of the book. And we're going to be hitting upon that today. And if you skip these things, you will go through a lot of pain and suffering as I have done in the past. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Hit the subscribe button if you find this video helpful and you would like to see more videos like it, and check out my free self-publishing checklist below in the comments area to make sure that you're not skipping any of the secret steps to getting your book onto the market and getting it selling. So let's get into it. When I first got started, I had no advice on what exactly I should be doing. In other words, I was just trying to figure it out the old-fashioned way by myself. I made almost every mistake that you could possibly make over a period of time that it took me to get my book onto the market. But the reality is to avoid these mistakes, I would have to know what is a mistake and what isn't a mistake, and I was not getting much advice at that time. Later on, though, once I had a coach and I had taken courses on writing and self-publishing, I started to see a jump in my progress. In addition, I had motivation to keep on working because I knew that what I was doing was along the lines of what is the best practices when it comes to writing and self-publishing your book onto the market. There were 3 main key lessons that I took away from this, and we'll be hitting a little more in detail on the next slide regarding these. The first is that you need correct theory. That is to say that when you're doing anything, there is a best way of doing it. Now, there's obviously a lot of different ways that you can write your book to get it onto the market, but there's going to be some ways that are a lot better than other ways, and it's best to take other people's experience and the theory that's drawn out of that, regardless of which type of book you're writing, and using that as your basis to start it all off. And the theory is incredibly important and incredibly boring unless it's relevant at the moment, but it needs to be covered anyways. So you'll notice I cover a little bit of the theory aspect within these videos. That's why subscribing will definitely help you out, and hit the bell so you know when I'm coming out with the latest videos. In addition, daily action is the next one. If you aren't moving forward on a daily basis, well, then you're falling behind, and then we're sort of wasting time because it's just another hobby. We're not really going to devote the time and energy that we're going to need in order to make progress. And then the final one is accountability. Who are you holding yourself accountable to? Is it just yourself? How well has that worked for you? Most people find that when you're trying to do anything, content of any sort, whether it's books or videos or whatever, if you have no accountability, it's going to quickly become boring and redundant, and you're going to find difficulty in staying focused. So, 3 best pieces of writing advice. Number 1, you need to choose the right niche from the start. And this is the part I commented at the very beginning of the video about, which is that when you're writing a book, your first step is not writing, it's researching. We're going to, 1, research the market itself. How many books are out there already on the subject for which you're interested in writing? And are they selling a lot of copies? Because that's the second point, which is B, the shortage of books. Are there a shortage of books on the one side, and are there people who are investing money? So we want to see, you can look at the BSR, basic sales rank, of many of the books that we have that are currently on Amazon. It's available information, and we can see how many of the books that are showing up in the top, let's say, top 20, top 50 books on Amazon in a given niche that you're thinking of writing on are in the top 100,000 BSR. So we're looking at books that are selling 1 to 2 copies a day, that are on Amazon, and seeing that we find books in our niche. So if you're thinking of maybe I'm going to write a book in a niche where there are no books on there, well then how do we know people are going to want to buy it? So we're going to want to write a book that people are going to want to read, but how would we know if those people don't exist? Are we planning on building an entire new market ourselves? This is probably a terrible idea, because the fact is there's so many people who jump into the market and attempt to create a market. And even if you did manage to create a market, the people who really understand marketing are going to then monopolize and jump in to compete with you. So this is a worse strategy. A better strategy is to think of it as surfing. What we're doing is we're looking for the perfect wave, and then simply when we see that the wave is already there, the energy is already there, there's an audience already buying, and there's not many other surfers on that wave, that's the wave we're going to target. We'll jump on top of it. Now, interestingly enough, sometimes if we choose a given keyword and we see there's too much competition, we just simply go downwards to what we call long tail keywords. That is, if you have a niche, you can use two niches together in order to achieve the goal that you have in terms of trying to find that special niche where people are interested in buying your book, but there aren't so many books, but at the same time we see that there are a lot of sales on that given type of book. Now, the second point we're hitting today is set a daily writing goal. Now, you can do this both in terms of the time you're devoting to writing each day. I would suggest 30 minutes a day, or also the number of words you're doing a day, so that we have an idea with regards to, maybe for me it was 1,000 words a day. Another issue here too when we're dealing with budgeting resources would be money. How much money do you have available to dedicate towards self-publishing, dedicate towards yourself? We're going to need editing, we're going to need covers, we're going to need formatting. I discovered the best route is not to try to figure it out yourself, but rather take a course. I offer a course, for example, on formatting that you can find the link below in the description. Just grab a copy of this course, very reasonably priced, and it will get you up to speed with what you need to know in order to start formatting your book right away. And then you don't have to pay somebody else to do it. You can do it yourself, and we can change everything to make it exactly perfect so that it will meet your needs. And moving on to our third point and our secret point of the day, it's that you need to get accountable to someone. The joy of writing, like any other thing, wears off, and you need to stay on track. So hire a coach. I offer coaching. You can find that below in the description, or hire somebody else to hold you accountable. It is best not to use friends and family, since they're just too close and they'll try to be too nice with you, whereas others will be nice, but at least trying to say, why didn't you accomplish what you said you were going to do? And then you'll be doing on a daily basis, just giving basic updates, and then once a week we then hold a session in order to review where we've come and what are the next steps ahead. And by breaking it down like this, you're working towards something, and you have that accountability, which I'm arguing is the absolute most important aspect of actually achieving your goal of getting your book onto the market. So in terms of both the writing of the book, but also the further steps as well. But especially in the writing part, it deals with any hobby you might have. If you've got an accountability person to hold you on track to actually achieving what it is you're trying to do, you have a much greater chance of success. So what is the best piece of writing advice you have been given? I really want to know. Let me know down in the description, or in the comments rather, and check up above me here for more video answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.